This exhibition at the Imperial War Museum is an exploration and a celebration of the often undervalued involvement of women in the Second World War.
The 150 photographs on display trace the arc of Miller's career from art and fashion to war photography.
And here she is, in Hitler's bathtub. On the 29th of April 1945, she walked through the gates of Dachau concentration camp, and she documented the horrors there. Later that evening, with a group of GIs, they discovered Hitler's apartment in Munich, and she had herself photographed in his bath. On purpose, her boots have muddied Hitler's clean white bath mat with the filth of Dachau. The image says a lot. She's beautiful, defiant, and victorious.
Miller's path from pretty young girl in Poughkeepsie to war correspondent was far from obvious. She moved to New York while still a teenager, where a chance meeting with the publisher Condé Nast led to her being made Vogue cover girl in 1927.
Keen to know more about the art of photography, she moved to Paris to learn from the noted surrealist Man Ray, becoming his collaborator and lover. Her fashion photography got the surrealist treatment. At the time, underwear had to be attractive but discreet. She makes it vital and luminous.
In 1939, now living in London, her work for Vogue shifted as the war gathered pace and became a unique documentation of how everyday lives of women were gradually transformed by the war.
This arresting image is a very different vision of women's work in World War II. This is Polish Flight Lieutenant Anna Leska. She flew nearly 90 different kinds of aircraft from factory to RAF bases. It's a far cry from Miller's glamorous and staged shots. It shows courage and toughness.
Her sensitive photographs document the devastation of Europe and capture the terrible toll the war had taken on women's lives.
A scene of defeat. The women sit amongst the ruins. There have been hundreds of Allied raids. More than half the city is uninhabitable. The image shows the hopelessness and desolation these women must have felt.
Her photographs contemplate the terrible legacy of war and examine the painful process of recovery from such events.
Lee Miller was an outstanding photographer. Many of these images have not been on public display before, and they'll be on display until April next year. They show women at war, women affected by war, all captured brilliantly by an extraordinary woman.